waiting for the go-ahead. Problem is I can't see any physical symbols that things are ready.
Yeah.
Sweet, okay. Hello, friends and frenemies of Convergence 2022. Yeah. You know what, we'll get there. That was pretty good, but we'll get that heightened. Let's try this with another line. Are you guys ready for glasses and spectacles? Yeah, all right, that is much better. My name is Jena Young. I will be your MC/host/torturer for the evening. Who here knows or has an idea of what it is that we're going to be doing? A few tepid hands wavering in the audience. Awesome. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be doing storytelling. This is Wordslinger's way, right? Like that's what we do here, a lot of literature, language, things like that. But we're not just going to be storytelling. I'm going to have 4 contestants come up here. I'm going to introduce them to you in a moment. And these 4 courageous storytellers are going to be telling stories with a twist. They're going to be overcoming obstacles as they tell their stories. Does that sound right? Any questions on that? You're all just like, huh? That's weird. Yes, it is weird. You are correct in your assessment. So we're going to have various challenges for these 4 brave souls tonight. This is absolutely wacky. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're all here to have a good time. We're not here for serious. We're just here for funsies. Is everybody here for funsies? Yeah. All right, should I introduce my contestants and get them up here? Yeah. All right, my first contestant is a retro gaming Twitch streamer. One half of the founders of MNUFC's laziest supporter group, Brewhall Casuals, is an improviser, works with Juster's Comedy Improv, and you may have seen him last night on main stage doing vilification tennis. Please welcome to the stage, Mike D. Please have a seat, sir. I'm going to be asking you more questions later.
It's fine.
All right. Oh, I hope everybody can get to those seats. I may have planned that poorly. Oh, no. Oh, God. The first challenge is already up. Please don't break yourself before the show. If we could minimize that. Yeah, that's when things get exciting. Next up, I'm going to introduce to you Minnesota's favorite deep sea horror, Thomas T.
I watched that.
You learned it from me.
You know what? This was an accidental challenge that I set up for you all, and I'm going to pretend it's completely on purpose. All right. Our next contestant is the manager of the only theater in the Twin Cities with a board game collection at Phoenix Theater. It's one of my favorite venues. Please welcome up to the stage, Jena Packey. And our last final contestant for the evening, you have seen him all over the place, possibly simultaneously at the same time during this convergence. I know him from several shows. He is part of Fearless. He does vilification tennis. He was doing the opening ceremonies, or a version of him was. Please welcome to the stage, Duck Washington. All right, audience, you have met the contestants. Contestants, have you met the audience?
Hi, audience.
All right, we are going to go into our first challenge, the reading challenge. Ooh, you can, let's try that. The reading challenge. Ooh. You guys are so cool. All right. So what I have are 4 pages of a 4-page story, because that's how math works. Each of these pages has something a little bit different going on for it. For instance, we have a page here that's blurry. We have a page here that is in mirror reverse. We have some where the text is swirly and some where it's wavy. And each one of our 4 contestants are going to come up and they are going to read a page of this story. Is that challenging? Are we... Thank you. Oh my God. Oh, the power. I love it. All right. So, we're going to start with this. Before we get into that, though, is there anybody up here that already comes comes with their own challenge in reading? Difficulties in reading, anything like that? Cool. I just wanted you to all know that I'm not messing with anybody more than regular.
Yeah, other than the glasses.
I don't know what you mean about glasses. All right. So I think we are going to start this off. Let's do, Jenna, pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
Hey, congratulations. That was the number. Come on up. So Jenna.
Yep.
Do you understand the assignment here?
Yes.
Yes. Do you feel you're capable and ready?
I mean, as well.
All right. Yeah, adjust as necessary. And Jenna, when you are ready, please tell us the first page of this story.
Sounds good, Jenna. Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her. But most of all by her grandmother. And there was nothing that she would not have given to the child. Once she gave her a little cap a cap of red velvet, there we go, which is also a very odd font as well as made backwards, which fit, no, that's not the word, something, her so well, suited her so well, that she would never wear anything else. So she was always called Little Red Cap. One day her mother said to her, "Come, Little Red Cap, here is a piece of cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak, and they will do her good." Wait, cake and wine? I've been doing sickness all wrong. Set out before it gets hot, and when you are going, walk nicely and daintily, and do not run off the path, or you may fall and break the bottle. And then your grandmother will get nothing. And when you go into her room, don't forget to say good morning, and don't peep into every corner before you do it. "I will take great care," said Little Red Cap to her mother, and gave her hand on it. The grandmother lived out in the wood, half a league from the village, and just as Little Red Cap entered the wood, a wolf met her. Red Cap did not know what a wicked creature he was, and was not at all afraid of him. Good day, Red Cap, said he. Thank Thank you kindly, Wolf. Whither away so early, Little Red Cap? To my grandmother's. What have you got in your elbow? No, that's apron. Cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day, so poor sick grandmother is to have something good to make her stronger. Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Cap?
Yeah! Let's hear it for Jena! All right, page number 2 of the story, the to be continued on this. Hi, Mike D, how you doing? You wanna maybe come up here and read a thing for us? Yeah, I appreciate that. Congratulations. Everybody, Mike D.
So this one, it looks like a page when your printer's running out of ink. So, all right, let's see here. Also, this is giving me like church reading vibes right now. So, let's see here. A grand quarter of a league farther on the wood, her blah something stands under the 3 large oak trees. The nuts what? Something about a nut just below. You surely must know it, replied Little Red Cap. The wolf thought to himself, what a tender young creature, what a nice plump mouthful. She will be better to eat than the old woman. I must act craftily so as to catch both, he said. He walked for a short time by the side of Little Red Cap, and then he said, see, Little Red Cap, how pretty the flowers are. Something here. Why don't you not look around? I believe to what? What? Do you not hear how sweetly the little birds are singing? Your walk gravely along as if you were going to school while everything else out here in the woods is merry. Little Red Cap raising her eyes, and when she saw the I think moonbeams dancing here and there through the trees and pretty flowers growing everywhere, she thought, suppose I take grandmother a fresh nosegay. That would please her. So, it is so early in the day, I shall get there in grand time. And so she ran from the path in the woods to look for flowers, always a good idea. And whenever she had picked one, she fancied that she saw a still prettier one farther on and ran after another and got deeper and deeper into the wood. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door. Who is there? Little Red Cap, replied the wolf. She is bringing cake and wine. Open the door. Lift the hatch, called out the grandmother. I am too weak and cannot get up. Done.
Yeah! All right. I got it. I'm taking them away entirely so that nobody gets confused. All right, Mike D, well done. Has anybody guessed what the story is yet? It's Little Red Riding Cap.
Little Red Cap.
It is the original Grimm Brothers storytelling. So, hi Doug, how are you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, you want to come read?
Sure.
Excellent. Everybody, Doug Washington. Please describe for us what the page looks like, Doug.
It's like the words are like, they go like this. It's very exciting.
Can you show us the page?
Yeah. Can I do a quick lap?
Yeah. Oh, well.
I'm not reading it.
Not yet. I'm asking. Hold your breath. Hold your breath.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, interesting.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. I did it myself.
Oh, good.
I mean, no, I totally didn't do that, Duck. You have no reason to be upset with me.
Oh, yeah, great.
All right, when you're ready.
The wolf lifted the latch. The door flew open, and without saying a word, he went straight to the grandmother's bed and devoured her. Then he put on her clothes, dressed himself in her cap, laid himself in bed, and drew the curtains. Little Redcap, however, had been running about picking flowers, and when she had gathered so many that she could carry no more, she remembered her grandmother and set out on the way to her. She was surprised to find that the cottage door was standing open, and when she went into the room, she had such a strange feeling that she said to herself, "Oh dear, how uneasy I feel today, and at other times, I like being with grandmother so much." She called out, "Good morning," but received no answer. So she went to the bed and drew back the curtains. There lay her grandmother with her cap pulled far over her face and looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have." "The better to hear you with, my child," was the reply. "But grandmother, what big eyes you have," she said. "The better to see you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what large hands you have. The better to hug you with." "Oh, but grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have." "The better to eat you with." And scarcely had the wolf said this, then with one bound he was out of bed and swallowed up Redcap.
Yeah! Next time you get blurry ones. That was way too simple. I'm gonna have to scratch that one from future shows.
What? That was easy.
And then we were down to one. Tom, would you like to come read the Would you like to?
Well, I don't think I'm much of a choice.
I mean, you do.
Would you?
Whether I want to or not is irrelevant.
So would you please describe for the audience, and this one you can probably just turn around and show them.
You can get a little idea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's I would like to state I was on nothing when I came up with this. No matter what these pages look like. Caffeine maybe.
I was just gonna say caffeine is a drug.
Caffeine is a drug. Okay, fine.
A
That's
lovely
a lot of caffeine.
But a drug nonetheless.
So, all right, Tom, when you are ready.
Alright. When the wolf had appeased his appetite, he lay down again in the bed, fell asleep, and began to snore very loud. The huntsman was just passing the house and thought to himself, "How the old woman is snoring. I must just see if she wants anything." I don't know why I picked that voice, but that's where it is. We're sticking with it. So he went into the room, and when he came to the bed, he saw that the wolf was lying in it. "Do I find thee here, thou old inner?" said he. "I have long sought thee." Then just as he was going to fire at him, it occurred to him, not Tim, him. I think I'm gonna go with him. That the wolf might have devoured the grandmother, and that she might still be saved. So he did not fire, but he took a pair of scissors and began to cut.
Oh, God.
It's only gonna get worse from here, y'all. But took a pair of scissors and began to cut open the stomach of the sleeping wolf. When he had made 2 snips, he saw. Sorry. He saw the little red cap shining, and then he made 2. Wait, fuck. Sorry. Am I allowed to cuss?
You are now. Broke that seal.
13.
Wait, hit
I just get 1 F-bomb.
the beat button. Hit the beat button.
Okay, saw the little red cap shining, and then. Okay, hang on. And then he made 2 snips more, and the little girl sprang out, crying inside the wolf? No, they're okay. No, crying. "Oh, how frightened I have been! How
Dirty.
What is the story?
Y'all are clearly not familiar with the grim version. I'm sorry.
Right.
Y'all got the sanitized version, it sounds like. Because, anyway, yeah. You're lucky I didn't make like squelches and like visceral sound effects, because I could have done that. But that wasn't the assignment. And I lost my place again. Oh dear. Wolf. I know, I'm trying to find. And after. I'm so sorry, I'm struggling here. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for validating my hard effort.
Yeah,
This is for me. Thank you.
This is quite a challenge. And after that, the aged grandmother came out alive also, but scarcely able to breathe. That makes sense. Redcap, however, quickly fetched great stones with which they filled the wolf's body. And when he awoke, he wanted to run away, but the stones were so heavy that he fell down at once and fell dead. Then all three were delighted.
That's how death works.
Sure. The huntsman drew off the wolf's skin and went home with it. The grandmother ate the cake and drank the wine which Redcap had brought and revived. But Redcap thought to herself, as long as I live, I will never by myself leave the path to run into the wood when my mother has forbidden me to do so.
Congratulations, Tom. And that is the story of Little Redcap. Do y'all feel educated now? Yeah? All right, we are going to play a quick game with everybody. It's a very popular improv game, but I felt it was very fitting for this particular show. So if I could get everybody to line up, we are going to play one-word story. You can cheer or not, like whatever. You're in. Brilliant. So, well, we're starting with Mike, I guess. You did, that's fine. So yeah, one-word story is just each person gets one word down the row until we have a story.
Some sort of story.
Something that resembles a story. All right. When you are ready, you may begin.
Once
Upon
A.
Time.
there
was
2.
Girls.
who
really
Despised.
Being.
girls
they
Wanted.
To.
be
monsters
Obviously.
After.
much
debate
And.
Thought.
they
decided
That.
They.
needed
to
Brew.
A.
potion
of
Monstrosity.
Which.
caused
their
Claws.
To.
grow
and
Their.
Teeth.
to
lengthen
Into.
Fangs.
their
the bodies
Distorted.
And.
morphed
into
Gigantic.
Monsters.
the
particular
Monstrousness.
Of.
both
creatures
Was.
Wonderful.
I think can probably end it there. All right. Thank you, contestants. If you would like to return to your seats, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this next portion. This is the concept that started it all. Storytelling while doing challenges. So, this is a competition. Each one of these people will be getting up to tell a story that they have prepared. They will not need this. And so they have it in their heads, they're going to tell it to you, but they're going to tell it to you while doing something else. Whoever does the best at all of this is going to win the opportunity to tell a story without intervention or challenge. Yes. So, all of this is going to be random. We don't know who's coming up at which point, and we don't know who's doing which challenge. I think for the sake of COVID safety stuff, I was going to have audience members pick these, but I think what we're going to do instead, I'm going to mix these up. All right. Mike, would you pick out a name? Jena. Jena will be our first storyteller. Jena, I'm going to have you pick out your own challenge so that nobody,
I have no one to blame but
no one to blame but you. So, pick out a challenge.
1 foot.
All right, so Jena is going to start us off. She is going to tell a story while standing on 1 foot. It's harder than it looks, believe me. All right, so
Just take a quick check on the knees. Just want to see which one wants to take this.
actually, before you start, so you can stretch out a little bit while we're doing this, is there anything that you wanted to plug or talk about? You're finding the right spot on the stage.
This one's just more stable.
Okay, that's fair then. Anything you want to plug? Anything that you're doing at Convergence or Phoenix Theater stuff?
I mean, not actively. We are starting to pick up sort of in the peri-post-pandemic time. So, check out Phoenix Theater, mpls.org. We got some cool stuff. So, but
Excellent.
otherwise,
PhoenixTheater.org?
PhoenixTheaterMPLS.org.
Okay, cool.
But if you just Google Phoenix Theater, our SEO isn't terrible. So, quick content warning. If anyone ever wants to find boobs sexy again, this might not be a good story for you. Alright. So, I had a kid about 1.5 years ago, and I decided to try. Wow, this is fun. I decided to breastfeed because, it's good for you, good for the baby, burns a lot of calories, so they say. I mean, actually, yes, I was starving. Oh, Lord. But also, as an older first-time mom, it wasn't going super well for me, and so it was like, I'm doing all of this goddamn work, and it's not really getting me anywhere because I still have to give the kid formula afterwards. So, and it's just like, and he didn't want to take the boob, so I'm like on the damn pumping machine, feeling like a cow. And your nipples are just constantly swollen and very uncomfortable. And I just started feeling like my whole body no longer belonged to me. So I lasted 3 months. But I learned by trolling the mother webs, which is a whole wonderful, terrifying place. Look up the history of turfiness if you want to learn more about the mommy blogosphere. I switched legs because I'm pregnant. But it's fun because you get deep into anything and there's a whole bunch of anagrams are the wrong word, but when they shove letters together, right? So I'm on this Facebook group and there's a bunch of people who are like, I'm an FTM. And I'm like, wow, a lot of trans dads in this group. And then my friend was like, no, that means first time mom. I'm like, that sounds cool. Speaking of, on a podcast I listened to, oh God, which one was this? Phoebe, This Is Love? No, something about words, whatever. talking about the term seahorse dad for trans men who give birth. And I'm like, that's beautiful, I love this. But it's just the smugness of certain mothers. They're like, oh yes, we're EDF, exclusively breastfed. I'm like, yeah, fuck you too.
Can't do it anymore. All right, get another Jena! It is harder than it looks, isn't it? Absolutely. All right, so we have 1 down, 3 to go. Tom, would you please draw the next name?
That's not a name. Balance, none of the.
Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. I switched my.
Duck.
Duck Washington. All right. Select your punishment. Challenge.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Big bucks, big bucks. Stop. Flossing.
I want to be clear. This isn't flossing your teeth. This is flossing the dance.
Oh, okay.
You don't have any idea how to do the dance.
All right.
Doc, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
Sure. I mean,
Well,
this
you-
might
well,
take
you
up the whole
stretch
time.
Okay, I'm timing you.
I at Convergence here tomorrow. You can see me on the You Don't Know Jack panel playing video games.
Woo!
And then after that, I'll be doing a reading of Golden Age comic books up here. Yeah,
We're doing that.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
And then if you get done with your con and you're still excited, I do have a show in the Minnesota Fringe Festival called Finger Lickin' Good. We have an 8:30 show tomorrow. It is kind of a sexy, horrific, absurdist retelling of the life of the actual Harlan David Sanders, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I recommend checking that out. On Tuesday, you can see me doing double blind improv at Strike Theater. I'm the executive director of the Twin Cities Horror Festival, so you can look for that in October as well. That's probably enough.
That's probably enough for now, yeah. Like I said, simultaneously in 18 million places at once, so. All right, Doug, when you're ready.
All right, so I'm not really great at flossing, but I'm going to tell you the story while I do it. And the story I'm going to tell you is about my real name. My real name is not Duck Washington. It is Derek Randall Washington. And the way I got my name is my first job was at a zoo. I worked for Potter Park Zoo in Lansing, Michigan. And one of the jobs I had while I worked there was giving rides on horses and camels and ponies to little kids. And one particular summer, things went really weird. All of the kids were terrified, all the kids were terrified that the camels were going to spit at them. And so, you have these parents who buy a ticket for their kid to get on a camel, and the kid would start crying and kicking and flailing and going, the camel's going to spit at me, the camel's going to spit at me, which they really didn't do. And the dads would be like, no, you need to be tough and get on the animal. And I try to explain to them that that like putting your kicking, screaming, flailing child on a 1,000-pound animal is not optimal. So why don't I just give you your money back? And it just kind of made the summer a little bit more difficult. And I really didn't understand why there was such a huge surge in camel phobia. And so later in the year, I was in a play, a production of Damn Yankees. I was the lead in Damn Yankees, my first lead in a musical. Might have been my only lead in a musical. They learned their lesson, I think. So we had a cast party after the show, and late at night, somebody decided to put in the movie Aladdin, which was new on video. And I was like, cool, I've never seen this movie. And I sit down and I start to watch it. And within like 60 seconds, they show a camel spitting at somebody. and it clicks. I'm like, this movie came out over the summer. Yes, I'm that old. And all the little kids saw it, and now all the little kids think camels are going to spit at them. So I decide that I hate the movie, and I'm going to make sure everyone else at the party hates the movie too. So I just go off on a rant. I'm like, this movie's racist. Look at the way they draw Aladdin and Jasmine's eyes. They're all nice and round, while all the bad guys have very Asianly distinct characteristics. I say, like that tiger's behaving more like a dog. That's not really accurate. These jokes are very period. In 30 years, I bet they're not going to be funny anymore. I may have been wrong about that. But basically, anything I can complain about for 35 or 45 minutes, I do. Until this girl, Janie Hartke, who'd been drinking sex on the beach all night, turns to me and she says, "Shut up, you sound like a duck." What? Quack, 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 quack. And so I knew as a student in high school that my obligations were to either, my skills flossing, or to either accept this name and embrace it or be tormented by it. And I chose to embrace it, and I have been Duck ever since.
All right. Well done, Duck. You managed to floss your way through that. Congratulations. All right, Jenna, would you do the honors of picking the last name? Or the second to last name? Oh, Tom. Come on up, Tom. All right, Tom.
I'm walking myself up to my own.
Your own demise. What do you got?
Still balance. Okay, what does balance mean then? If you already have the one.
You don't remember this one, do you?
Nope.
I told them all possible challenges that would come up. Tom,
Yes.
I would like you to tell your story while balancing this on your head.
Oh, okay.
Should I pick something harder?
No, I'm not complaining.
All
Look,
right.
I don't have to try to do a dance. I don't have to balance on one foot. I just have to balance this on my head.
All right.
I feel like I got off easy.
We'll see. We'll see. Tom, do you have anything to plug before you begin?
Just in general, if you're in the Twin Cities, Minnesota area, highly encourage you to check out a little organization called Fearless Comedy. They right now they have a show in the Fringe Festival. What's your day job or how capitalism ruins us all?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have a show in the Fringe Festival, and we're doing stuff all year round. Fearless Comedy. Just search for them. That's how you'll find it. And now, without further ado.
All right.
Okay. Oh, this is the easy part. Okay, so So sorry. It's the two things at once that I'm working on.
Oh.
Hubris.
I got the easy one, they said. Pick it up, try it again.
All right. Well, I'm getting more than one attempt.
Oh yeah, no, you get several attempts.
Okay,
I will cut you off at a certain point, but
that's fair.
yeah, you get to keep trying. I want to hear your story.
Do you though?
I do.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. All right. So I dabble in stand-up. This started probably 2019, I would say. And the thing about dabbling in stand-up is that you never know what can happen, and the feedback you get on your jokes is pretty immediate. If things are bombing, you'll know right away. So
Put it back up, keep going.
So, immediate feedback on your Immediate feedback on your jokes. I've had a completely silent room. That is okay. The only thing you really can do is just figure out try to figure out what worked and what didn't, and just move on from there. However, this thing I'm going to actually tell you about, I've never actually had happen before. So I was doing a show, it was like a fundraiser type show. Pretty run-of-the-mill. I don't think I was terrible, I don't think I was like amazing either. It was like, I'm trying out some new stuff. Not everything's gonna land, that's okay. But about in the middle of my set, my mind just,
Oh, I got it.
okay.
You stand there,
All right,
I'll pick
you
up.
stand there.
Okay. Here you go.
All right. So midway through my set, my mind just goes completely blank. And not the kind of like, I don't know what to say blank, it's more of a, I'm not fully in control of what words are coming out of my mouth, what sounds are coming out of my mouth, what is being said, the content of what's coming out of it, completely blank. Nothing at all. It was like I could sort of see what was happening and hear what was happening a little bit, but not enough to make out any actual sounds. I'm afraid if I move that this is going to be the end. But completely blank. And the only thing I remember after that was just like this. You know how sometimes when you...
I got it.
Okay. I feel like I'm...
You should just keep talking every time too.
I should just keep every topic. So the when you know, have any of you ever like tweaked your neck just in your sleep? You were doing nothing at all. Yeah. Okay. That's the only thing I remember after that particular just mind completely going blank on stage, which is the absolute worst thing you can have happen to you in the middle of a stand-up set. Because usually everything is very, very rehearsed, and you never want to be in a situation where you're not even sure what has even happened or what you said. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, what if you said something that that got recorded and sent out, and not only was it just completely no filter, we don't even know if it aligns to normal human ethics. We didn't. Never mind cancelable. It's just like, this is not safe for humanity. Whatever thing that has been said. So yeah, that's. I'm good with bombing. I'm happy with telling bad jokes that just do a pratfall flat on their face. Never want that to happen again. I think that's a good time.
Thank you, Tom. Well done. This will be easy.
Chris, like I said.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm gonna hold on. If you could just reach in there and pull out a name and let me know who it might be.
It says Jena. No, it says.
All right, Mike.
All right.
Pull out your doom.
So Jenga.
Jenga. All right. First, I want you to go to Mike and plug some stuff. I'm gonna straighten this out a little bit for you.
All right. So I have no other shows here at Convergence, but you can check out Chester's Comedy Improv and Vilification Test. I show up in those things. I'll also be in a Twin Cities Horror Fest production put on by the Haunted Basement. The name is escaping me at the moment right now, but so that'll be a thing. And then also I do my old school gaming stuff on Twitch. I actually do my Twitch Plays Oregon Trail stream tomorrow night, where everybody in chat makes every decision in a game of Oregon Trail, and it usually ends up great, except when Tom kills everybody. So, it's only happened once or twice.
All right.
What's your Twitch channel?
I can actually give you cards for it afterwards. Easier
Ooh.
for you. So.
See Mike after the show.
There you go.
Yeah, feel free to move the stand. I'm really hoping that doesn't fall, because I don't want to affect anything here. Then you just get to pick it up while you're talking and keep going. So, same situation.
All right.
I-
I will project.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna say because it is giant Jenga and because we're doing this on easy mode. You can use 2 hands.
All right. Great.
All right.
Can't put the phone. All right, so I'm going to tell you the story of what may be the world's worst engagement, and I say this knowing that my wife is literally sitting within feet of me right now. So anything that I get wrong, she will be the first to tell you on this. But we'll paint the scene. The scene was about 13 years ago. The venue was the Varsity Theater. Before we knew that the Varsity would take a terrible human being for stand-up comedy. So we were there watching a ska band called the Agrolites. We were hugely into that genre of music. And we were hanging out through the course of the night, doing the things that you do at a concert. And at some point through the night, we got in what you call one of those lover spats. I think I started it, if I recall memory correctly, and she's verifying this right now, so there you go. She was upset to the point of wanting to leave the venue. I somehow, through the I don't know, magic of words and whatnot, convinced her to not leave and to stay. We then were dancing to some song that was being played, I think within 10-15 minutes of this, and I accidentally elbowed her in the nose, which then proceeded to open up a gushing fountain of blood spitting out of her nose, like it was an Andrew WK album cover. So she's in the bathroom for quite some time, dealing with blood all over the fact. I think you've got some of it on your clothes. I can't remember what color your clothes were, but it stood out. It was noticeable for those who were paying attention. So that happened. So she's got blood in her face. We had gotten into a fight, all that fun stuff. Then I don't know if any of you have been to the Varsity, but there's places where you can sit and whatnot there. So we were just hanging out. Our friends were with us. Actually, one of our friends had proceeded to fall asleep at this point. Was sleeping right next to us, which was weird. I've never seen that happen at a concert before. I was just holding her hand, and I'd gotten her like a clotter ring from the Irish Fair sometime before, and I don't know what's in my brain possessed me to say this, but I was like, I'm just playing with her ring, and I'm like, I think it's time we get you a new one of these. Didn't say anything romantic like that. No, it wasn't a will you marry me. It's, oh hey, you got this ring. I think it's about time we get you a new one of these. To which she's like, are you proposing to me right now? To which case my panic brain was, yeah, I think so. Now, spoiler alert, you can tell at this point that, the engagement went through and the wedding went through, but the very fact of all this transpiring, I don't really know how to put it in the words, but just I look back at this and I'm like, I am not sure how I either A, lucked out, or B, somebody in my family has paid her a lot of money to stick around for these past 14 years at this point, 12 years of being married and 14 years of being together, but I feel like the luckiest person alive to have met her and to be married to her, and also for her to tolerate my poor timing, terrible way with words, and the absolutely most atrocious engagement ever.
Although, every time somebody takes a step, that's really making me nervous. Thank you for that very romantic story. I appreciate this. It is now time for me to determine a winner. I'm going to call out names, and I want the audience to applaud. And I will determine who's getting the loudest amount of applause, and how I felt they did will also be a factor. So, if you think the winner should be Mike D. Tom S.T. Jenna Pappy. Or Doc Washington. I do get the decision. I could just be like, screw you all, I'm the winner. I am not in it. Your winner for the very first ever glasses and spectacles, and now gets the prize of telling a story without any challenges, Doc Washington.
All right. As the executive director of the Horror Festival, I thought I might tell a story of a time that something kind of spooky happened to me. And that was the time I got LASIK eye surgery. So people aren't never going to be talking about eyes. If that is too much for you, know that that's going to be coming up here in just a minute. So I got LASIK surgery in 1999. When I had it done, the only other person I knew who had it done was a spokesmodel for LASIK surgery. But she had it done. I thought that was really cool. She had glasses, then she didn't have glasses anymore. And my parents came to me and they were like, "Hey, you're graduating from college. Is there anything that you want?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just met this person who had LASIK surgery done." And they were like, "Oh, well, that sounds interesting." And so they talked to our family eye doctor to see what he thought, and he was like, "Dude, that sounds so cool." And so I was like, "All right, well, I'll go and I'll do the preliminary appointment to see if I'm a good candidate." Because at that point, they were really, really, really particular on who they would allow to have LASIK surgery, because they wanted to have as many successes as possible. And they go, "This is really safe and it works." And then I went and they decided I was an optimal candidate for the surgery. So we scheduled a day that was like 6 months down the line, and I almost immediately forgot about it. I started doing work with the Penumbra and Klein Theater at the same time, and I was just constantly on the road or backstage somewhere. And then eventually, the show I was doing at the Penumbra closed, and I was like, "Oh, I scheduled this appointment to happen right after I got done working on this show. And in 2 days, I have to have a surgery I know absolutely nothing about." Just great. So instead of doing research, I decided to do a thing, is watch the movie Fire in the Sky with my roommate Megan. And I don't know if you've ever seen Fire in the Sky. It's an alien abduction movie from the 90s where aliens take this guy up in their spaceship. And there's a very detailed alien abduction scene where they take a guy, they strap him to a bed, there's this weird thing holding him down, and then they expose his eye, lock it open, and then this machine comes down and does horrible stuff to his eye, and it's the most dramatic part of the movie. And I'm watching this, and I literally joke to my roommate, I'm like, as long as my surgery's not like that, I'll be fine. And so I go to the eye doctor the next day, and they're like, "Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some morphine drops in your eyes, and we're going to give you a little Valium just to, to keep you calm." And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds fine." But the morphine makes my eyes a little blurry, and they take me back in the room. When I get back into the room, all the doctors are in head to toe white suits. You can't see any of their faces. And with my blurry vision, they might as well have just been the aliens from Fire in the Sky. They put me on a table and they strap my head down. They clamp one eye open. There's this giant light ahead of me, a little red dot in the center, and the thing just kind of starts slowly moving towards my face. I'm on Valium, and it's everything I can do to not punch every doctor in the room. So terrified at this point. And then the doctors say to me, they're like, "All right, so above you, you should see a little red dot." And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, whatever you do, do not look away from the little red dot. And I'm like, well, what happens if I look away from the little red dot? Their answer is just to repeat, do not look away from the little red dot. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm hard focused on this red dot. There's aliens around me. My head's strapped down. I'm trying not to punch everyone in the room. And this machine comes in, and I hear this for like 15 seconds. And then they go, all right, you might feel a little weird suction. That's us pulling the front of your eyeball off. Whatever you do not look away from the little red dot. And they do. Like, I see it happen. Like, the lens just kind of goes, whoop. And then all of a sudden, I have like fly vision, and there's like 80 little red dots. And I just go, well, I'm just gonna look at the one in the middle. And you hear the and then like that goes on for like another 15 seconds, and then they take the front of my eyeball and they just flip it back over and it attaches to itself. And they close that eye, and then they do the exact same thing with the other eye. So this is the most stressful 15 minutes of my life, but it was only 15 minutes. I had 20/20 vision for 20 years. It has been that long. So I'm now in glasses again, but it was pretty awesome and also pretty horrific. But that's my story.
All right, thank you, Doc. Thank you all so much for coming out to the very first Glasses and Spectacles. Let's give a hand to our contestants. We have Mike D, Thomas T, Jim Packey, and our winners of Washington. I have been Jenny Young. Look for this to come out maybe at some point somewhere else. Until that point, enjoy the rest of your convergence.